Get ready for the breakdown. We gon' look at this from each side. Ain't no time for breaks now. You already know it's leak time. Let this clip play out. We ain't here to speak lies. Welcome to Assemble Time. Deep dive.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Mr. MCU, and this is Deep Dive. I'm not going to do what everyone else is doing. Well, a lot of people doing, I'm pretty sure, because y'all could just see it there. Y'all probably already seen it there. People watching the trailer with y'all on the screen, or people going through every little hidden detail. I'm just going to talk about things that stood out to me, right? One of the first things is the trailer starts, it opens up, and we hear someone narrating. Then you realize, wait, is that Dr. Doom's voice? So this is the first time we hear Dr. Doom voice, or RDJ playing Dr. Doom, his voice as that character. And that was one of the big things for me that I was like, it's a non-negotiable in one of the Assemble Time episodes. I was like, that voice needs to be good, to say the least. If you watch any of the cartoons, the animated cartoons of Avengers or anything, Doom has a specific voice, right? They didn't need to capture that exactly, but I needed something close enough, or something that strikes that same type of feeling for me. And when I say it, this voice of Dr. Doom, they nailed it. Robert Downey Jr. nailed it. I'm very satisfied with how he sounds. He sounds sinister, he sounds chilling, he sounds like a threat. So that was the first thing I wrote down. Voice, fire. Doom voice, fire. Alright, next we got a shot of Professor X. And he's sitting at the window and he looks like this. He's watching fire in the sky, or explosion. But if you know anything, or you follow any rumors, or even if you don't, that's actually an incursion what he's watching. He's seeing an incursion through his window taking place. And the sound effects that they used for it, the visual effects, even just through the window, it was like even a curtain in front of it in a way, but it looks intense. So that was something that was, for me, I was like, whoa. It's our first incursion we ever seen. I'm going to touch more back down on that, or what that meant, later on in this episode though. So we see shots of the X-Mansion in the first few shots of the trailer. And close-up shots of the floor, the hallway, Professor X there. And what I noticed, something that stuck out to me, was the place looks in ruins. And not to the point where the whole building is collapsed, because obviously Professor X is in there, but it just looks in ruins, you know? There's debris on the floor everywhere. And it just made me think, what, do the X-Men do not care because they're dealing with so many incursions like we heard? Or was this after a certain battle? That was just something that stuck out to me. Because the lights are off and everything. It's like very, how would you call that? It's a dark vibe, I should say. We see a scene with Thor, right? Then Thor starts narrating after Doom is narrating in the trailer. And then we see the exact scene where he's giving a speech at. He's speaking to the rest of the teams, the New Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and it's himself there. And with what he's saying in that scene, talking about this big threat, and this is the biggest threat I ever faced, and I didn't face other threats before, but trust me, this is the most scariest one. That tells me this has to be after they encounter Doom and fight him. Because you wouldn't know what somebody's capable of until after you experience them. So I think this is after the X-Men battle. That's just what I got from the trailer. But yeah, that scene alone was, Thor's presence was very strong. It's like when Cap be giving speeches, or Optimus Prime or somebody. Thor's getting very good at giving them speeches nowadays. So then we see the X-Men battle, right? X-Men and Avengers and Fantastic Four. We do see that was true. We see battles happening. In another video, I'm gonna go through all of the one-on-ones, all the 1v1s that we seen or heard happening. So the two we seen in this trailer with Yelena and Mystique, and then Shang-Chi and Gambit, and then there's a whole bunch of other ones that's been rumored and in plot leaks. But I want to get to a whole episode so I can give each fight his just do and go through it with y'all. And we get a shot of Loki. It's like two shots, right? We see Loki standing up, and we see Loki with the card. I wonder if that takes place when he, in the plot leak, when they said he went to first go see Steve and Peggy, or if that's somewhere during the rest of the movie. When is that? Because we know he can't really leave his seat. So when did this take place, right? So that was something that stood out to me. There's another shot in here of Johnny hugging Sue. And this shot reminds me of the Infinity War trailer, when we seen Tony like this grabbing his hand, now we know he was grabbing his hand. But at that time, we didn't really know. People were theorizing, oh, somebody must have just died. Oh, he's holding Spidey's hand. He's holding Steve's hand. Son, right? Somebody they dead on the floor. That's a dead person's hand. We was half right. Comes to find out was somebody did just die. That was the scene right after Spider-Man turns to dust. But he was holding his own hand. Only reason it looked a little different from his other hand is because one hand was more dirty than the other. But yeah, that scene reminded me of it with Johnny hugging Sue. His face looked a little distraught. He looks like he's comforting her. It looks like the sky in the background looked like they was in a battle, like there's smoke or whatever. And I wonder, did somebody just die? It had to be somebody close to them if that's the case. Was it Reed Richards, The Thing? That stood out to me. And I know Marvel likes to play like that. So, yeah. Wonder who dies in that scene. Thor meeting Steve. This was something that everyone was talking about, right? Because the history between them. In the MCU years, chronologically, Endgame takes place in 2023. Doomsday is going to take place in 2028. So they haven't seen each other for 5 years, you know? And then last time he seen him, he was an old man, and he left, you know? So Spike's like, hey, pal, and he's like, this can't be possible, right? But I got another theory of what I think Thor's response could be. But let's move on. Fire scene, by the way, seeing both of them. By the way, before I move on, I'm down with the people that want to see Steve suit up and just don't want to see him in regular casual clothes. I mean, that's cool at first, but at some point, at least at the pinnacle of the movie or at the end of the movie, the third act, when it's all going down, I need Steve in a suit, bro. Come on. You can keep the edge, just put a suit on. Then we get what I call the money shot. Pause. It was the scene at the end where, this is one everyone's talking about also, Thor arrives at the battlefield, he charges up lightning, flies up, and strikes down at Dr. Doom. Doom just stops it, Stormbreaker with 2 fingers, crushes the whole situation. That tells me multiple things, but mainly, this is Marvel's way of showing Doom's power scale, right? They did the same thing in Infinity War with Thanos and Hulk. When Hulk beat the brakes off of, when Thanos beat the brakes off of Hulk, it shows us how strong Thanos was. They also, when Thor try to, at the end of Infinity War, try to strike Stormbreaker to Thanos' chest, Thanos used all 6 Infinity Stones, beamed at it using all powers. Stormbreaker cut through the whole beam and still struck Thanos in the chest. So this says Doom is way more powerful. He stopped it with 2 fingers, no Infinity Stones. That's not even happening. So I wonder how that whole scene plays out. Because I'm pretty sure it's not just that little shot, right? And it also made me ponder another question. You know, I'm not really too much of a comic book historian, or I used to watch cartoons, you know, but I'm not really too knowledgeable on, does Doom got hands? I wonder if Doom got hands. That'd be fire to see him break somebody up. I always seen him just use his magic or his technology, but never hand to hands. So does Doom got hands? If you know, write it down in the comment section. Let me know, please. So move on to the last parts of this episode. I broke it down in 3 parts, right? So after watching the episode, you know, you watch it a couple times, watch it with excitement, you watch it again with excitement. Then I start looking for things. So I broke this down into confirmations, new questions, and missing pieces. Confirmations. So remember I said I was going to come back to that first scene with Professor X standing at the window watching the incursions. If you watched episode 1 of Deep Dive with us, they said in the Act 1, they said the opening scene of Doomsday starts off with Wolverine and Deadpool going to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's universe to plant a planet-destroying bomb and detonate it. In that plot leak, it says that Wolverine was successful at doing so. Deadpool leaves, Wolverine blows up the planet, killing himself, Tobey Maguire, and everybody else that's on that planet. And then it also says on the vantage point flip side, you see Professor X staring, looking up at the sky, sitting downstairs, looking up at the sky and seeing an incursion happening of that planet, you know, the detonation of that planet happening. So I think that's exactly confirmation of the scene we seen. That's literally what they said in the plot leak, literally, and to see it in the trailer. So that confirms multiple things for me. That's most likely the opening scene of Doomsday with Tobey's universe, Spider-Man's universe, and that it does get blown up, and we see Professor X watching it. So that was confirmed for me. Loki's shot, right? The scene, the shot of Loki. We see the scene of Loki, then we see the card, the TVA card. So if you watched episode 1 of Deep Dive with us, of Act 1 of the plot leak, they say that Loki gives Steve a card when he first visits Peggy and Steve. He gives him a TVA card to contact him, to reach him if any emergencies ever happen, right? So that's confirmation that that scene is actually taking place. He does go visit. Loki does go visit Peggy and Steve. He does give him a card. Because if not, why would you just show a card in Loki? And that scene of Thor giving the speech to all of the teams, in the background of that, you see some screens, and on each screen there's different pictures of things, right? So it looks like each of them are different interpretations of 3 planets colliding. And that also goes with all the rumors we heard of the incursions happening, which planets or universes are going to collide with each other. And in the 2015 Secret Wars, it's usually 2 universes that collide, and 2 Earths points are the ones where they collide, and that's why the whole universe, each universe, gets destroyed. If one universe is destroyed by the one Earth is destroyed by the other, the other Earth has nothing to crash into, so both universes survive. One's just Earthless. So seeing that diagram of the 3 planets in the background, that does confirm that these 3 universes, and which we did hear before in rumors, that the 3 universes that are on the incursion course are the main MCU 616 Sacred Timeline, the Fantastic Four's universe, and the X-Men universe. So usually it's 2 universes in the comic books, but MCU like to add a spin on it. I'm not mad that it's these 3 universes. More stakes involved. So yeah, and then we get the confirmation that we've been hearing for months, maybe a year and some change, that the X-Men and the Avengers are going to fight. We see that, right? That's going to be a big deal. I think that's going to be just as big as the Civil War fight. That might dethrone it, honestly speaking. Maybe that's a high reach or a high statement, but it could. It possibly could. We got the original X-Men versus the Avengers and the Fantastic Four with them. That might be one of the best fights we ever seen, aside from the end of Endgame. And I think that's going to get topped by the end of this movie. So, but yeah, we got confirmation on that they do have a battle, X-Men and Avengers and Fantastic Four. Alright, move on to the next segment of this. New questions. So I see people online theorizing and having their theories on everything of how Steve that we see meet Thor with the long hair, is he an evil variant of Steve? Because he had like a little grin on his face. Possibly Hydra Cap, right? I'm not ruling that out, but in my opinion, using my knowledge of things and everything I know about this movie and things I heard of it, rumors and plot leaks and everything, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's evil Cap at all. I just think that's Steve and he had a little grin on his face, that's all. Honestly speaking, he's in different attire because it's 10 years later, you know? Well, in the universe he was in, he was there for 10 years. So, I don't think that's evil Cap at all. Then, people also pointed out that scene, if you pause it on one of those shots where Steve is speaking Thor, it looks like there's a figure, where there is a figure behind him, like someone standing behind him and it's blurry and in the dark. Who that could be, I have 2 conclusions in my head. One, I think that can be Johnny Storm. Kind of looks like him. You see a little white on it, so maybe on the outfit. So looks like it could be the white and blue outfit. Next, I think that could be Victor Von Doom, out of the mask and out of his suit. You know, we do know that Victor goes to Reed to find if there's anybody staying on their planet that shouldn't be there, that's not from that universe. They find Steve, then they convince Steve about Doom's plan. Then Doom asks Steve to go, them 3 to go to the main timeline to convince the rest of the Avengers. He needs to be the one to do it. So we do know they come together. So maybe that is Victor Von Doom. And Thor's reply saying this can't be possible, to me makes me feel like that could be Victor, because he don't know Victor, so he just sees Tony standing there. Tony standing there when you was dead, but now you're not. I see Steve, you was old, but now you're not. So that makes more sense though, if this can't be possible. Not that he just seen Cap. Yeah, Cap was old when you see him, but now he's young. You know he's not dead. He knows he's not dead, so I don't know, it's just the whole "this can't be possible" seems like a little more severe than Senior Mans. You know, that he was old. We do know they use different type of time travel and stuff, so that it wouldn't strike me that this can't be possible if it's just Steve. I still could be wrong, but yeah, that rose a question in my head. Was he referring to seeing Tony, well Victor, and thinking it's Tony? Like this can't be possible. Does Namor help? Because we seen him in the beginning of the trailer, but then we don't see him in none of the shots afterwards. Like we seen one shot of him flying and stuff. So I'm pretty sure he helps at some point. But does he help to go fight the X-Men? Like does he go with them? I don't know. But and if he does help, which I'm pretty sure I'll lean towards that way. When does he help? Is really what I'm asking here. We didn't really see many more shots of him, but Namor looks great in these shots though. He has a new suit, looks a little bit more comic accurate. And Namor did great to me in Wakanda Forever, so when does he help is the question. Alright, the last part of this segment, this episode, is going to be missing pieces. So I see people asking, where's Sentry? Again, if you look at the shot of Thor speaking to the rest of the teams, giving that speech, if you pause it with all of them in it, you see Sentry all the way to the left. Well, this would be the left for y'all. He's all the way to the left. You see him, his socks and his same socks he had at the post-credit scene and everything. So the reason why we don't see Sentry in all of this, I think this trailer is only Act 1 of the whole movie. I don't think we see shots from Act 2 or Act 3. And I also, if you remember, Sentry does not want to no parts of the Void no more. He does not want to unleash the Void. So I think he's going to lay low all the way up until maybe a crucial moment in the movie. Maybe Yelena's the one that turns to him like, Bob, we really need you. Forget the Void. We'll deal with that when it happens, but whatever, we need you. And that's when we see Sentry. He suits up and everything. So I think that's why we don't see Sentry in this trailer. Because I think it's just Act 1. Another thing is Hulk and Spidey. People have speculated that this movie is taking place while Brand New Day is taking place, so that's why we're not going to see Hulk and Spidey. I don't know if that's true or not. Still haven't heard too much stuff on that. But I think more so for Hulk than Spidey, I think we'll see Hulk in this movie more so than Spidey. I think Spidey's going to be in it too, Tom Holland Spidey. I think we'll just see him at the end of the movie. I don't think it'll be during most of it. But I can see Hulk popping up during the end of Act 2, going into Act 3, and then he's there for a significant amount of time. I see that. Same goes for Captain Marvel. I don't think she's in Act 1 at all. I think it's after they face Doom, going into Act 2, they realize they're going to need more help. And I definitely see one of the Avengers reaching out to her. We need your help. So that's why I don't think we don't see Captain Marvel or any other Avengers. Last question I had that stood out to me was like, will Rhodey be in this movie? Right? He's missing. I know last time we seen him, we seen the real him where he was captive by the Skrulls. So he missed mad events and he looked partially paralyzed. So I don't know if he's gonna be in this movie. And for me, that'll suck. Not the movie, but not having Rhodey in this. To me, Rhodey's such a grounded character. He always brings those human dialogue lines. Like, why we don't just go back in time and get Baby Thanos or Axon Cap? You couldn't just jump out the plane before you crashed it. Like, he asks us the questions any of us would ask, right? He just seems so down to earth. I really love the way Don Cheadle plays War Machine and all of this. So it would be a bummer for me if Rhodey's not in this at all. I would like to see him not only just in it as Rhodey. I want to see him as War Machine. We need as much help as we can. Lose or lose, we still need his help, because they're not gonna win. After we seen what Doom just did to Thor, they're not gonna win. It's impossible. I don't see it happening. But yeah, that was my little recap, or at least pinpoints or deep dive, I should say, of this trailer. Nonetheless, I thought this trailer was great. I think people ruined it for me though. The fact that it was released, the same exact trailer was released to people a couple weeks back, so they gave a scene by scene description of it. It's different with these plot leaks that they come out and there's scenes that will most likely be in the movie and some not. But even when those scenes happen, you can't even picture how the scene really plays out, right? From the way the sentences are. This is someone giving a description of something they seen, with the trailer a couple weeks back. So basically knew the trailer once I was watching it and seeing every shot, but it was still great to see it and my excitement level was still there. Just still was a little robbed from my surpriseness. And I guess that's the game we play, right? Covering leaks and everything, and feeding into it and entertaining it. So it is what it is. But to say the least, this trailer was great. Was it the best Marvel trailer? MCU trailer? I don't think so. Top 5, definitely. But I still hold those spots for Infinity War and Endgame when I first seen those trailers. I was very satisfied with it. Definitely made me more excited, even though I didn't think I could get any more excited for this movie. Me having my tickets while just purchased them and then watching the trailer back to back was like, oh, this is really going down, you know. I'm pretty sure anyone that wasn't on board or casuals, now they have to be on board. I'm pretty sure they are. What I wouldn't pay to watch this from a casual's eyes. And someone that kind of, you know, you're kind of a fan of the superhero world and stuff. You just don't follow it deeply, right? Like me and you. I would love to see it through their eyes. What a time. Alright, so last night, while I was doing my overnight shift at work, my girlfriend had reminded me how, yo, remember I told you the tickets, they say the tickets for Avengers Doomsday might go on pre-sale on Monday, July 20th or whatever. So last night, this is like at 4:30 a.m. while I'm at work, it's July 20th. So they saying that the tickets were supposed to go on sale at 9 a.m. So I'm checking every hour. I go and ask ChatGPT how true this might be, whatever. Seems like it was damn near confirmed, right? Like this is a real possibility. So I go over to the theater websites like Rigu and Fandango, and I see that they got the show times already available for Avengers Doomsday. So that brings up my confirmation level or percentage to at least 98%. I'm like, oh, this is actually might really be true. This might be going down. So now I'm checking every hour to see if it goes on sale. So by 8:30, I'm refreshing my page. I'm ready home, and I see that it says certain seats are already purchased. So me being the designated ticket purchaser for my group of friends, I had to buy 8 tickets. So I keep trying. I selected my theater. I already knew where I was going, what time I wanted to go. I'm selecting 8 seats together. I go to purchase it. Hit a load, error. Load, error. Finally, it looks like it's about to go through. Then it'll say, those seats already been purchased by another other guest. Long story short, it took me 45 minutes to finally purchase my tickets. So I ended up getting my tickets. Super excited, right? I had to do 2 purchases. I had to get 5 seats in a row together, and then another purchase of 3 seats in a different row together. But to say the least, my group will be going to see it on opening night, right? So I say that to say it. So I'm on the phone with my girlfriend because she had just stepped out on FaceTime with her. I'm telling her, babe, I got the tickets. I secured the bag secured. So we excited talking about it. And so I go on Instagram right while we having this conversation. And what do I see? The Russo brothers. The first thing I see too, it's at the top of the page. The Russo brothers just dropped the official Avengers Doomsday first full trailer. So now, double excitement. Babe, go to YouTube. They dropped the trailer. I threw it on my big screen. I watched the trailer and everything. So I say all that to say is, going into this today, I've been planning on doing episode 2 on the act 2 of the plot leak for Avengers Doomsday. If you watched episode 1 of Deep Dive, you see we covered act 1, then I was going to do another episode for act 2 and then act 3. So going into today, I was going to do that. But with the new trailer dropping, plans change. So here we are. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this trailer in the comment section below. If there's anything that I touched on that stood out to you, if you have any questions on, or you want to correct me on something, drop it in the comment section. If there's anything that you feel like I missed out on, or I should have touched on this, or just a new question you have, drop it in the comment section. I promise to reply to you. I'll touch on it on one of the next episodes and give you a shout out. Yeah, this was my deep dive on the first official Avengers Doomsday trailer. I am Mr. MCU. Please subscribe. Until next time, assemble time.
Deep dive.